Buenos dias. What's up? I talk a lot about living versus existing on this vlog, which is really difficult for many cancer patients, not only due to the side effects that we might suffer from treatment or the disease taking control of our body itself, but also from the mental health issues that pop up as we go through what is an extremely traumatizing time and something that's hard to cope with, and then something that's hard to normalize as we try to move forward as cancer patients, cancer survivors, or people who've had their lives affected by cancer. And currently, I am living the ever loving shit out of life. I am sitting in a dorm room in San Jose, Costa Rica, that I'm sharing for the next few days, if not the next few months, with one of my best friends. And I am experiencing the widest range of emotions that I've had in a long, long time, which is surprising given that I've been told that I have advanced, if not near deadly cancer 3 times. I've been told good news, bad news. I've had all the ups and downs of being a cancer patient. And I'm sitting here with my mind on fire because I haven't done anything like this in a long, long time. Today, I think it's May 9th or something like that, May 8th. I don't know the date. I barely know the day itself. But every year around this time, when I was a college student and into my early 20s, I would take off from San Luis Obispo, California, and I'd drive to Las Vegas in order to move out there and be a professional poker player during the World Series of Poker. And every time I'd do it, I would feel this incredible sense of excitement, and at the same time, this knot in my chest, and my brain yelling at me, saying, "What am I doing? Is this the right thing to do? How is this what I'm deciding to do with my life?" And I love that feeling. I've loved that feeling for as long as I can remember. When I've started businesses or I've approached new people and experiences in life, whenever I've really gotten after it, that's the rush you get. That is living versus existing. And I've spent so much of the last 7 years trying to survive and build comfort and structure around a life that was decimated by cancer. I've effectively holed myself up, not just in my room in San Luis Obispo, but I've created this ecosystem of, okay, I need to be able to take care of my body because it has been weakened by cancer. I need to be near to all of the medical treatment that I can do, because if I'm away from it and something happens, how will I be able to take care of myself? I have created emotional cocoons around me in order to not let myself get exposed to risk I didn't have to, because all of the emotional damage and or fluctuations that I want to experience are being forced upon me by my body and my brain as I have gone through cancer for 7 years. Granted, some of that's probably self-inflicted. I don't think I have had to pile on this much pain, but sometimes we don't control that when we go through these experiences. I would like to think that, having been cancer-free for the majority of those 7 years, albeit with the 3 diagnoses, maybe at this point in time, I'm better at deflecting the cancer highs and lows. But I know this feeling. I know this feeling where my mind is just racing right now and I can't grasp what's going on. But today, and for the next couple months, I have chose this. And just like I said in my last video, I'm being a little cryptic because this is still in the lead up phase to what I presume will be one of the coolest experiences of my life. Again, I'm sitting here weighing the pros and cons of what I've chosen to do. And I'm sweating as I do this video. It's 83 degrees and humid right now. I promise I'll show you around this campus and this city and what my lifestyle is going to be when I'm here. But I wanted to just kind of do this brain dump before I lead into some of the more structured stuff in Costa Rica, because this is a feeling that's so foreign to me, to feel this out of sorts by something I've chose, because I haven't really done it in 7 years. And I know there are a lot of people who will watch this channel and understand when your agency is taken away from you via a disease and the lifestyle it makes you live, it kind of pigeonholes the decisions you can make. And then when you get outside that box, like really outside that box where I am right now, you forget that living life versus just struggling to exist is a skill, and taking risks is a skill, and managing these emotions outside the framework of being a cancer patient is a skill. And I have not flexed these muscles in a long time. I've traveled outside the country for a week, 2 weeks in the last 7 years, and that's been scary. I travel domestically for weekends and I get travel anxiety. And this is a decision, this is a trip that I have been mulling over for months, if not years. This is a long time in the making, what I'm intending to do. And I am in a little bit of the same paralysis, or at least my brain feels the same way as when I have scanxiety, or when I have fight or flight, when I hear bad news from being diagnosed or being told that I have to do some sort of medical procedure that I don't like. You can see I'm struggling with how to describe this feeling, even though it's so familiar to me. And I'm sitting here because this is a source of comfort for me. And it's something that I'm trying to shed almost the perpetual comfort. I have been so comfortable in my life outside of cancer. I've done everything that I can to avoid being uncomfortable in my home. And I think this is a great way for me to grow by forcing myself to get outside the box and live and experience things that are uncomfortable that I chose. And the funniest part about it is the decision that I've made, this big cryptic adventure that I'm dying to tell you guys about, but I can't because I don't have this stuff set up yet, is it's not necessary for anything in my life. And that is kind of cool to me at this point in time, because a lot of the risks and decisions that I've made to mitigate risk have been necessary. When you are a cancer patient and when your life is perpetually threatened, even if it's not acute at some point in time, I've been so comfortable in my treatment this year. It's not like I ever feel like the disease is going to overwhelm me right now, but I have to make all of these small decisions that add up to more barriers for long-term success. I have to monitor my diet and what I do on a day-to-day basis, and how I stress, and the level of care that I get in order to make sure that I have a chance at a long life. Now, when I'm doing something outside that structure, it's just a different mode. And again, everyone's cancer experience is wildly different. But I think many cancer patients and loved ones of cancer patients understand the notion that when you're exposed to something so emotionally swingy and destructive as cancer, it's hard to feel the pulse of your emotions in anything else. Like, I have put myself through a good amount of other risk in life leading up to this time period, but I haven't made myself this uncomfortable, and it's very new to me. So I think I'm leaning on a familiar crutch, which is talking to this camera and ideating about what life is really like for me, albeit this time in a new environment. And so I don't have anything entirely concrete that I want to get out. There's no lesson in this. This is an episode that's more for me, and hopefully the connection can be that you understand how I'm feeling, how gripped my brain is by this fear that I know is actually good. And my hope is that in a couple days, when I make another episode and speak to you next, the fear will have turned into excitement, and the questions I have will have been answered by the opportunity that I'm about to get. So I am going to cut this one off here. I wish I could show you more of Costa Rica than this dorm room. I'm figuring out how to record. I'm figuring out how to get everything set up here. But I want you to know that I got outside my comfort zone. It's really important to me. And those of you who have been through it will understand why it's so important to live rather than exist. That's all I got for today. Signing off from Costa Rica. Adios.